What's going on, guys? Scapegoat here, and today we're going over the Forbidden and Limited list and skill balance list for Duel Links. So as you can see here, we already have a few cards to look at, and also there are explanations as to why each card is hit on the list, and we're all using this data thanks to Duel Links Meta. They're providing the website for us to look at it. So let's just jump right into it, and if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe, join my Discord, my Twitch, my Twitter, and all that stuff. We do contests very frequently, and also we do a lot of tournaments and other fun content, video game nights and stuff like that, so feel free to join. Let's just jump right in. The grass looks greener is now banned as of October 14th. So this card was forbidden as it is capable of giving users advantage in the graveyard, pretty much. Obvious things, right? Been a good card ever since on release, I think. I can remember that using against me. Cyberstein's on here for giving people unfair turn 1 advantage. That seems pretty obvious, right? And then we go on to our limited. You can only use one of these cards in the deck, as well as only one of each of the ones. So Star Blast is in here as paying the points with this allows players to use various skills easily. So using this to enable a skill that you shouldn't be able to use so fast. Needlebug Nest for people pretty much milling, gaining advantage, similar to Grass is Greener apparently, or even comparatively to drawing 5 cards. So it's just graveyard advantage, similar to Grass is Greener, but to somewhat a lesser extent, I guess. Revival Gift, I believe this was for like degenerative strategy. This will be limiting your weakened strategies that hinder the opponent's ability to summon by special summoning tokens to their side of the field. So similar, I think, in regards to like the Ojama strategy, where you put like the cards on their side of the field and they can't do anything. Next we go into the semis. So we have Gold Sarcophagus. This is probably for like, you know, Light Sworn, Chaos, all that stuff, and it's pretty easy to banish and, you know, get advantage off of cards. Thunder Dragon too, I guess, to an extent. This card will be added to the 2 as with Charge of Light Brigade to prevent players from using multiple copies of each card. So you can't like use multiple copies of each, you can only use like one, all that stuff. But that's that. So same thing for Charge of the Light Brigade. Also as an engine card, it's a very easy for you to just splash this in. Still a very good card. I'm still going to run that too over Gold Sarcophagus and Pure Light Sworn, but that's another story. Karakuri, Bomachi, MDL 22-4 Ninishi. This card is limited for Karakuri decks having good access to generic limited 2 cards, I guess. So they have a big pool of cards that they can use with it. Keeper of Dragon Magic, this card will be limited so that it cannot be played alongside multiple copies of generic 2 cards, just like Karakuri and Blackbird Close. This card will be limited as it is extremely difficult for players to deal with a counter trap card that can be activated from hand, which is very true. It's like a hand trap, counter trap. In a simplified meta, it's pretty powerful, right? And Witchcrafter Holiday, this card will be added to the limited 2 list alongside of Charge, prevent players from using multiple copies of both. So these just feel like giant hits in the same type of way. But yeah, next is the 2/3, and we have Alistar the Invoked. This card will be limited as it has been used in decks for a long period of time with a wide range of decks with higher win rates. So yeah, as most of us know, Invoked has been around for quite a while in Duel Links, and pretty much I would consider it a problem. I don't like playing against it with the Cocytus and all that stuff. So, and no longer on the list is Thunder Dragon Dark. Card will be unlimited due to the limitation of Charge of the Light Brigade, so a little give and take. An Elemental Saber, Malo, and the reasoning behind that is pretty much they just think they suck, so right. They think it's acceptable power in the current metagame. And after that we have skill updates, right? So this might be a little hard for me to read and go back to. So we have a few of them. We have Restart. Restart will not activate if your deck does not contain 7 or more copies of each spell and trap card. And the reasoning behind that is the activation condition for this skill will be more difficult as it increases the chance of getting a winning hand. Then we have Switcheroo. Life point cost is now 1500, and the reasoning behind that is the same as Restart. The skill will be more difficult and increases the odds of getting a winning hand. So same deal. We have the skill Bandit. Bandit now requires you to return one card from your hand to your deck. The activation condition for this skill will be more difficult as more cards that let players easily reduce their life points have been added to the game since the addition of that skill. So similar to the card that they put on the limited list, that's the type of thing they're doing with that now. Next we have Shadow Game. Shadow Game will only deal 400 damage max and will no longer trigger if a player is at 1000 or less. The reason for that is conditions. The condition will be added to the skill to ensure that it does not single-handedly ensure victory, which is fair reasoning, right? The next one is Access Denied and Ojama Overflow. Can only be used on your 5th turn and onwards. The reasoning behind both of those is the activation condition for this skill will be more difficult as it greatly reduces interactivity of duels. And Ojama Overflow, the activation condition for this skill will be more difficult as it makes it impossible for players to win from early on. So those are very degenerative strategies, so it makes sense. Show of Nightmares, a skill that I'm currently using, so I'm kind of sad. Lightsworns feel like they're getting hit pretty hard. Now requires you to return a card from your hand to your deck after adding the spell. The activation condition for this skill will be more difficult as more cards that let players send spell cards to their graveyard have been added in the game since the addition of this skill. So if you want that card, you're not getting a free plus, you have to put a card back. So it could be good, it could be bad in some cases. Moth to the Flame now has an additional effect that lets you add Larva Moth, Great Moth, Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth to your hand if you control Petite Moth equipped with Cocoon of Evolution. And we are strengthening the character exclusive skills to make them easier to use. Makes sense. Afterlock Lockdown can now be used twice per duel. We are strengthening some character exclusive skills to make them easier to use, similar to Moth to the Flame. And the same reasoning behind Red Eyes Fusion, which Red Eyes Fusion can now send a Red Eyes Black Dragon in your graveyard to your deck as cost. So that's pretty much the gist of everything. So I do like some of the hits on the list. I feel like there could have been more done to the list or different hits. It definitely feels like Lightsworn is definitely hit. I think Witchcrafter could have gotten a little bit more of a hit. But that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. What do you guys think about this ban list, about the skill balances, and even about the new Exceed update that's happening actually in 8 minutes after filming this video? So let me know in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter, Twitch. Join the Discord if you want to talk more about Duel Links or any other card game. We also play other video games like Among Us in the bottom. So thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a nice day. Bye.